Nobody ever imagined that a dead car battery would be the beginning of everything that happened in this story. But that's life. It hits you with surprises when you're not even looking. This is a story about Samuel. Just Samuel. Not Samuel the successful man. Not Samuel the rich businessman. Just Samuel, the mechanic who fixed cars under the hot Lego sun, with oil always stuck under his nails and sweat running down his back every single day. He had a tiny workshop in Otta. Nothing special, just a wooden shed, old tools, and a dream that one day things would finally get better. Samuel had a wife, Ruth. She was everything to him. They got married young, thinking love alone would feed them and pay bills. But it didn't. Love was sweet, but poverty was bitter, and they tasted that bitterness every single day. And then there was their daughter, Dara, 8 years old, bright like the morning sun, with her mother's eyes and her father's stubborn spirit. She was the reason Samuel woke up every morning even when his tired body begged him to rest. But how do you explain to a child that there's no food? How do you tell her she can't go to school because there's no money? Those are the moments that break a man quietly from the inside. Pain that doesn't show on the face but eats you slowly. That Tuesday started like every other day for Samuel. He opened his workshop by 6 a.m., hoping someone would bring a car to fix. By noon, all he had made was 3,000 naira from repairing a motorcycle. 3,000 naira in Lagos. It couldn't even buy proper food for the family. Then his phone rang. "Mechanic Abe, come quick. We need you for emergency." It was Malam Ibrahim, a driver he knew. The man's voice was tense, like something serious had happened. "Where?" Samuel asked, already grabbing his toolbox. "Near that new estate they're building. Madam's car just died. We're stranded. Please hurry." Samuel didn't ask more questions. He jumped on his motorcycle and sped off. The area was far, quiet, with half-finished buildings and red dusty roads. When he arrived, he saw a black Range Rover by the roadside. And standing beside it was a woman, not just any woman. She wore a cream-colored suit that probably cost more than everything Samuel owned. Her shoes sparkled. She had dark sunglasses covering half her face. Anyone could see she was rich. The kind of rich that makes you feel small without them even trying. "Good afternoon, Ma," Samuel greeted, bowing slightly, the way we do in Nigeria when we meet someone above us. She removed her sunglasses, and Samuel saw her eyes. They were tired, not tired from lack of sleep, but from carrying heavy burdens for too long. "Can you fix it?" she asked, her voice calm but firm, the voice of someone used to giving orders. Samuel opened the bonnet. The battery was completely dead. "Madam, not the battery. It will take time to charge." She sighed and looked around the empty, hot place. No shops. No shade. Just sun and dust. "How long?" "Maybe 1 hour. 1 hour 30, Ma." She looked at her driver, then back at Samuel and said, "Fine. I'll wait." Samuel set up the charger in his little corner, just a small bench and scattered tools. She followed him, looking around like she couldn't believe people actually worked and survived in such a place. He offered her his only chair, wiped it with a rag, and she sat. At first, both of them were quiet. Samuel focused on the battery. She made calls, postponing meetings, canceling appointments. Her life sounded big, busy, and important, very different from Samuel's world. Then she spoke. "What's your name?" "Samuel, Ma." "Samuel." She repeated like she was testing the name. "Did you go to school?" Samuel hesitated. That question always carried shame. "Yes, Ma. I finished secondary school, but I couldn't go further, no money." She nodded slowly like she understood. Though Samuel doubted someone like her could ever understand what it meant to drop out because your family couldn't raise 50,000 naira. "You seem like a smart boy," she said gently. "Life just isn't fair sometimes." Samuel didn't know what to say, so he kept working. But she continued talking, asking him about his life, his dreams, his family. Samuel told her about Ruth and Dara, about how he was struggling with school fees, about how some nights he went to bed hungry so his daughter wouldn't. And she listened, truly listened, not like rich people who pretend while their mind is somewhere else. She looked at him with real concern, something Samuel hadn't seen in a long time. When the battery finally charged, Samuel fixed it back, and the car roared to life. She smiled, and for the first time, Samuel saw her face relax. "How much?" she asked. 5,000, Ma. She pulled out a bundle of cash and gave him 20,000. "Keep the change. You did well." Samuel almost dropped the money. 20,000 naira for 1 hour's work. His hands shook as he collected it. Then she did something that changed everything. She handed him her business card. "My name is Evelyn Okoro. If you ever need anything, call me. I mean it." Samuel looked at the card. It was thick, elegant, gold letters reading, Evelyn Okoro, CEO, Okoro Estates and Investments. "Thank you, Ma. God bless you." She smiled again, entered her car, and drove off, leaving dust behind. Samuel stood there for minutes, staring at the card, wondering if she meant what she said. Rich people often say nice things they don't mean. But something in her eyes made him think she was different. When Samuel got home, Ruth was cooking beans. He showed her the money and the card. "Samuel, what is this?" she asked sharply. "A woman." "Her car broke down. She gave me this card. She said I should call her if I need anything." Immediately, Ruth's face changed, the look wives give when they sense danger. "Samuel, don't even think about it. Don't call that woman. Don't go to her house. Do you hear me? She was just being nice now." "Nice?" Ruth dropped the spoon and faced him directly. "Rich women are not nice for no reason. Please, Samuel, whatever you're thinking, forget it. We will manage." Samuel wanted to argue, but he kept quiet. Ruth was a good woman. He respected her. So he put the card in his pocket and tried to forget. But life never lets you forget. 3 weeks later, Dara came home crying with a letter from school. Samuel opened it and saw the words every struggling parent fears. "Your child's school fees are 6 months overdue. If payment is not made within 1 week, she will be withdrawn." Samuel looked at Dara's face, the shame in her eyes, and something broke inside him. He reached into his pocket and pulled out that card. Ruth saw him and shook her head. "Samuel, no." But Samuel was already dialing. It rang twice. "Hello." Her voice was still calm, confident. "Good evening, Ma. This is Samuel, the mechanic. You said I should call if I ever need help." There was a short silence. Then she said something that made Samuel's heart jump. "Samuel, I've been waiting for your call." Her voice carried something, maybe a promise, maybe a warning. Samuel wasn't sure. "Ma, my daughter's school fees, they want to send her away. I don't know what to do again." "How much do you need?" she asked softly. 250,000 naira, Ma. But anything you can help with. I'll be grateful." Silence again. Samuel's heart was beating fast. Maybe he had said too much. Maybe she would laugh. Maybe Ruth was right. Finally she said, "Samuel, come to my house tomorrow. Let's talk properly. I'll send you the address." "Thank you, Ma. God bless you." "Stop calling me Ma all the time," she said with a playful tone. "My name is Evelyn. Use it." The call ended. Samuel froze, staring at his phone. Ruth was in the doorway, arms folded. "So you called her," she said. "It wasn't a question." "Our daughter needs school," Samuel said quietly. "What did you expect me to do? You should have been a man and found another way. Not running to a stranger who gave you her number after one meeting." "Ruth, please not tonight." But she wasn't done. "You think I don't see what's happening? Rich woman. Young, handsome mechanic. Samuel, use your head. What does she want from you? She wants to help us." "Nobody helps for free," she muttered, turning back to the kitchen. "This will not end well." The next day, Samuel took a bus to Lekki. Evelyn's address led him into a neighborhood he had only seen in movies. Massive houses, tall gates, flowers carefully trimmed, security everywhere. When he got to her gate and gave his name, the guard let him in immediately, like they had been expecting him. The house was unbelievable. Not just big, beautiful in a way that made Samuel feel like he didn't belong there. Marble floors, chandeliers, furniture that looked too expensive to sit on. He stood quietly, afraid to touch anything. Then he heard voices, loud, angry voices. "Evelyn, What is this dirty thing doing in our house? It was a woman who looked exactly like Evelyn but with a face twisted in disgust. Veronica, calm down, Evelyn said as she walked in. She wore a simple dress, but it still looked expensive. He's a guest. A guest? Veronica repeated, looking Samuel up and down like he was trash. Look at him. Look at his clothes. He's a beggar. Why is he here? I met him when my car broke down. He helped me. And now he came so I can help him in return. Veronica laughed, a sharp, wicked laugh that made Samuel want the ground to swallow him. A mechanic? As what? Your friend? Evelyn, you're too soft. These people smell money and they rush here. Send him away before he steals something. Samuel felt heat rise to his face. He wanted to defend himself, to say he wasn't a thief, that he had dignity, but the words refused to come out. Veronica, that's enough, Evelyn snapped. Her voice was ice. This is my house. If you can't respect my guest, leave. Before Veronica could answer, two young men walked in, about 20 years old, well-dressed, confident. Auntie Evelyn, good afternoon, they greeted. Then they saw Samuel. Who's this? Emeka Kamsi, Evelyn said. This is Samuel. He's a friend. Friend, Veronica repeated loudly. You people hear that? A mechanic is now our friend. Mommy, leave Auntie alone, one of the boys said, though he also eyed Samuel suspiciously. Veronica grabbed her sons. Let's go inside before this poverty enters your body. She threw Samuel one last dirty look before walking away. Samuel stood stiff, humiliated. He had never felt so small. Evelyn sighed, touched his arm gently and said, I'm sorry about my sister. She can be difficult. Come, let's talk somewhere else, Evelyn said. She led him into another sitting room, smaller but still very beautiful, with big windows that looked out over a swimming pool. Samuel had never stood that close to a pool in his life. Sit down, Evelyn told him, her voice soft again. Relax. You're safe here. Samuel sat carefully on the edge of the sofa, still feeling out of place. How did you spend the money I gave you last time? Evelyn asked. Samuel stared down at his hands. I paid Dara's fees, he said slowly. But the rest? I'm not proud to say this, Evelyn. I wasted it. I spent it foolishly. My friends and I, we celebrated. I thought I had finally made it. I'm sorry. He braced himself, waiting for her to shout, call him irresponsible, and send him away. But Evelyn smiled instead. At least you're honest, she said. Most people would have lied. She reached into her handbag and brought out an envelope. This is 1 million naira, she said. Use it wisely this time. Pay your daughter's fees for the whole year. Take care of your family. And Samuel. Yes, Evelyn? If you need help learning how to manage money, I can teach you. You don't have to struggle alone. Samuel's hands shook as he collected the envelope. 1 million naira. He had never seen that kind of money in his entire life. Thank you, he whispered. I don't even know how to repay you. You don't have to repay me, Evelyn replied. There was something in her eyes he couldn't quite read. Something that looked a lot like loneliness. Just be a good father to your daughter. That's enough. Samuel went home that day feeling like he was walking on air. But when he told Ruth about the money, she didn't smile. She just looked at him with tired, sad eyes and said quietly, Samuel, this woman is buying you. And when she is done, she will own you. But Samuel didn't listen. How could he? Evelyn was helping him when nobody else cared. She was kind, she was generous, and she seemed to truly care about his family. Over the next few weeks, Evelyn started calling him more often. At first, it was just to ask if he was okay, if Dara was back in school, if Ruth needed anything. But soon, the calls became longer. And then they became daily. She would call him while he was working, and Samuel would step away from his tools just to hear her voice. She would call in the evenings, and they would talk late into the night about everything and nothing. Ruth noticed. Of course she did. Wives always notice. You're always on that phone now, she said one evening. Always smiling and laughing. Is it her? She's just a friend, Ruth, Samuel replied. Friends don't call each other every day like this, Ruth shot back. Samuel, you're playing with fire. But Samuel couldn't stop. Evelyn made him feel seen, important, like he was more than just a broke mechanic struggling to survive. Evelyn opened up to him too. She told him about her life, about her 2 failed marriages, about how both husbands left her because she couldn't give them children. She told him how lonely it felt to be rich on the outside, but empty on the inside. And Samuel told her things he had never told anyone. His fears, his dreams, his anger at life. His frustration at always feeling like a failure. With Evelyn, he didn't have to act strong. He could just be himself. One night, Evelyn called with a different kind of tone in her voice. Samuel, can we meet? She asked. Not at my house. Somewhere private. I need to talk to you about something important. Samuel's heart started beating faster. Where? He asked. There's a hotel in Victoria Island, she said. I'll book a room. We can talk there without interruptions. Samuel immediately knew what Ruth would say if she ever found out. But he agreed anyway. He told himself it was just a meeting. Just a conversation. They were friends, and friends could meet and talk, right? The next evening, he wore his best clothes. Ruth saw him and her face darkened. Where are you going dressed like this? She demanded. I have a meeting, Samuel replied. A meeting? Ruth's voice went up. At this time? Dressed like you're going to see a woman. Samuel, do you think I am a fool? Ruth, please. You're cheating on me, she said, her voice breaking as tears rolled down her cheeks. You're cheating on me with that rich woman. After everything we've been through together, this is how you repay me. I am not cheating, Samuel said, but even he could hear how weak it sounded. We're just friends. Liar, Ruth screamed. You're a liar and a cheat. Go. Go to your rich woman. But when she's done using you, don't come back to me. Samuel left the house with her words echoing in his mind. But he still went. The hotel looked like something out of a movie. The lobby alone looked richer than his entire workshop and house put together. Evelyn was waiting for him in the reception. Dressed simply but still looking like she belonged there more than anyone else. You came, she said with a small smile. You asked me to, Samuel replied. They went up to the room she had booked. It was big, with a king-sized bed, a sitting area, and a wide window showing the Lagos skyline glittering at night. Samuel stood by the window, unsure of what to do. Samuel, Evelyn said softly, walking to stand beside him. I need to tell you something, and I need you to listen without judging me. Okay, he said. I'm 65 years old, she began. I've been married twice. Both times, my husbands left me because I couldn't give them children. The doctors say I'm barren. I've accepted it. I've made peace with it. She paused, and Samuel noticed the tears in her eyes. But that doesn't mean I stopped wanting to be loved, she continued. To be held. To feel like a woman and not just a walking bank account. Samuel turned fully to face her. Evelyn, he started. I know you're married. I know you have a family, she said. But Samuel, I have feelings for you. Real feelings. And I think you feel something for me too. She was right. God help him, she was right. Somewhere between the late-night calls, the attention, and the way she looked at him like he mattered, Samuel had fallen for her. This woman old enough to be his mother. They stared at each other for a long moment. Then slowly they closed the distance between them. That night, in that hotel room, with Lagos shining beneath them, a poor mechanic and a billionaire found something they both had been searching for. For Evelyn, it was the feeling of being desired for who she was, not for her money. For Samuel, it was the illusion of escape from the poverty that had suffocated him all his life. They held each other until morning, when Evelyn finally drove home around 9 a.m. Her sister Veronica was waiting in the living room, arms folded, face burning with anger. So you didn't come home last night, Veronica said. Don't tell me, let me guess. That dirty mechanic. Evelyn said nothing. She just walked past her sister. But Veronica wasn't finished. You are 65 years old, Evelyn. 65, Veronica shouted. And you're running around with a boy young enough to be your son. Have you no shame? Evelyn stopped and turned slowly. Shame, she repeated. You want to talk to me about shame? You, who drove your husband away with your wickedness. You who now lives in my house, because you have nowhere else to go. Don't talk to me about shame, Veronica. But as Evelyn climbed the stairs to her bedroom, a heavy feeling settled in her chest. She couldn't shake the thought that maybe, just maybe, she had made a terrible mistake. Evelyn and Veronica had always been close. Twin sisters born just minutes apart, but their lives took very different directions. Evelyn built an empire from nothing. She worked day and night, made hard decisions, and became one of the richest women in Lagos. Veronica married early, had 2 sons, and spent money like it would never finish. She never built anything of her own. She never needed to. Evelyn always took care of her, and Evelyn never complained. That was the kind of person Evelyn was. She loved her sister deeply. Even when Veronica's husband finally got tired of her sharp tongue and bad attitude and left. Even when Veronica moved into Evelyn's house with her sons, Topchaku and Kamsi, and behaved like the place belonged to her. Even when Veronica kept making decisions about Evelyn's life, telling her what to do, who to see, how to live. Because Evelyn was barren, people assumed she needed help, that she needed direction. They acted like because she didn't have children, she was somehow incomplete, somehow broken. And Veronica, who had 2 sons, felt she had the right to control her sister's life. But Samuel changed everything. After that night at the hotel, Evelyn and Samuel just couldn't stay away from each other. They met in secret at different hotels around Lagos, always careful, always hiding. Whenever they were together, the rest of the world disappeared. The age difference didn't matter. The fact that he was married didn't matter. In those moments, they were simply 2 people who felt they had found something real in the middle of their messy lives. But Veronica was watching. Veronica was always watching. "You are still seeing that mechanic," Veronica said one morning, blocking Evelyn's way as she tried to leave the house. "That is none of your business," Evelyn replied, trying to walk past her. "None of my business?" Veronica's voice rose. "You are my sister. My twin. And you're embarrassing yourself with a married man young enough to be your son." "I am 65 years old, Veronica," Evelyn said calmly. "I think I can decide who I want to spend time with." "Spend time with," Veronica scoffed. "Is that what we're calling it now? Evelyn, what do you think people will say when they find out? A billionaire like you running around with a poor mechanic? They will laugh at you. They will say you've lost your mind." Evelyn's face hardened. "Let them talk," she said. "I have spent my whole life worrying about what people think. I'm tired, Veronica. I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of people acting like I'm not complete because I have no children. Samuel makes me happy. That's all that matters." "Happy?" Veronica repeated like the word disgusted her. "He is using you, Evelyn. Can't you see? He wants your money. When he has gotten everything he wants, he'll leave you, just like your husbands did." Evelyn walked away without replying. But Veronica's words followed her, not because she believed them, but because she knew her sister would never stop interfering. Meanwhile, Samuel's life at home was collapsing. Ruth had noticed the money. Of course she had. Suddenly, Samuel could pay bills on time. Suddenly, there was always food in the house. He could even buy new clothes for Dara. And Ruth knew exactly where that money was coming from. "So, your rich woman is taking care of you now," Ruth said one evening, her voice cold. "She is helping us," Samuel replied. "Is that not what you wanted? For Dara to go to school? For us to eat proper food?" "I wanted my husband to be a man," Ruth shot back. "Not somebody's pet." The fights became their new normal. Every day, Ruth found a fresh way to remind Samuel that they were living off another woman's money. She told him he had no shame, no dignity, that he had sold himself for comfort. Then Ruth did the one thing that hurt Samuel the most. She called a family meeting. Samuel's parents, his uncles, his brothers, Ruth's family, everyone gathered in his father's small sitting room. Samuel stood in the middle, feeling like a criminal on trial, while Ruth listed his sins one by one. "He is having an affair with a rich woman," she announced. "A woman old enough to be his mother. He brings her money into this house and expects me to keep quiet." Samuel's mother gasped. His father's face grew dark. Samuel, is this true? His father asked. It's not that simple, Samuel tried to explain. She is my friend. She helped us because we were suffering. Because I couldn't provide for my family the way I should. So you sell yourself, his uncle said sharply. You become a kept man. I am not selling myself, Samuel protested. She cares about me and I care about her. Yes, she has money, but that's not the only reason. What else does Ruth want? I am finally providing. Dara is in school. We have food. We can pay rent. Is that not enough? It is not your money, Ruth screamed. You are not providing, she is. Can you not see the difference? All the anger, shame, and frustration Samuel had carried for years exploded inside him. You always made me feel like I was nothing, he shouted. Like I was never enough. Every day you reminded me that I was poor, that I couldn't take care of you properly. And now that things are better, you still find something to complain about. The room fell silent. Then Ruth stood up, walked straight to Samuel, and slapped him hard across the face. The sound echoed through the tiny room. Samuel's cheek burned, but not as much as his pride. You're shameless, Ruth whispered, tears running down her cheeks. Completely shameless. Samuel looked around the room and saw all the accusing eyes staring at him, judging him, condemning him. He felt like he couldn't breathe. You people see what I'm talking about? Samuel said, his voice breaking. This is what I live with every single day. He walked out of that house without looking back. While Samuel's life was falling apart, something strange started happening to Evelyn. One morning, she woke up dizzy. The room spun so badly she had to grab the edge of the bed for support. Then the nausea hit her, sharp and sudden, sending her rushing to the bathroom. Veronica heard her vomiting and knocked on the door. Are you okay? I don't know, Evelyn said, wiping her mouth. I've been feeling strange for days now. Over the next week, the dizziness, the vomiting, the constant tiredness, everything got worse. At first, Evelyn assumed it was stress. But Veronica, who had been pregnant twice, recognized the signs. Evelyn, she said one morning, her voice shaking. When last did you see your period? Evelyn tried to think back. With all the drama going on with Samuel, she hadn't kept track. I'm not sure. Maybe 2 months. 2 months. Veronica's eyes widened. Evelyn, you need to go to the hospital. Now. I'm 65, Veronica. It's probably menopause or... Hospital, Veronica snapped. Please. Evelyn didn't know why her sister was so scared, but she agreed. She asked her driver to take her to one of the best hospitals in Lagos for a full checkup. The doctor, an older woman with soft eyes, ran every test, scans, blood work, everything. When she returned with the results, her face carried shock and disbelief. Mrs. Ozoemena, she said slowly. I don't know how to tell you this, but you're pregnant. Evelyn laughed out loud. Doctor, that's impossible. I'm barren. Dozens of doctors told me I could never have children. And yet, the doctor said, placing the test results and ultrasound images in front of her, here we are. You're about 8 weeks pregnant. And so far the pregnancy looks healthy. Evelyn stopped laughing. Her hands trembled. How is this possible? The doctor explained. Hormones, stress changes, spontaneous ovulation. Evelyn hadn't been fully barren. She simply hadn't been ovulating. But suddenly, her body had started again. It's rare, the doctor said. But it happens. Sometimes the body produces one final egg. Sometimes emotional changes trigger it. The human body is full of surprises. Evelyn stared at the ultrasound picture and felt everything at once. Joy, fear, disbelief, hope. At 65 years old, after a lifetime of being told she was incomplete, she was finally going to be a mother. She called Samuel immediately. Evelyn, I can't talk right now, Samuel said when he picked up. He sounded stressed and drained. Samuel, I'm pregnant. Silence. A long, heavy silence. What did you say? I'm pregnant. 8 weeks. The doctor confirmed it today. Another long silence. Then Samuel's small, frightened voice. That's not possible. You said you were barren. I was. I don't know how, but it happened. Samuel, we're going to have a baby. Samuel felt his world spinning. A baby. With Evelyn. His billionaire lover, 65 years old, was carrying his child, while his wife Ruth was probably still crying from the family meeting. I need time to think, Samuel murmured. Time to think. Evelyn repeated, her voice cracking. Samuel, this is our child. I know, this is too much. Everything is falling apart with Ruth. If she finds out, I'll lose everything. You will lose everything, Evelyn said, her voice turning cold. And what about me, Samuel? I'm 65 and pregnant. Do you think this is easy? Samuel was too overwhelmed to think clearly. He muttered something about calling her back and hung up. After that, he stopped answering her calls completely. That night, Evelyn sat in her room, one hand on her stomach as tears rolled down her face. She was finally pregnant, and the man she loved was running away. Meanwhile, downstairs, Veronica paced back and forth. When Evelyn first told her the news, Veronica had smiled, hugged her, said all the right things. But inside, she was terrified. For years, she had lived comfortably in Evelyn's house, spending Evelyn's money, making decisions for her sister. Why? Because Evelyn had no children. Because she needed family around. Because Veronica's sons, Tokchukwu and Kamsi, were the closest thing Evelyn had to heirs. But now there would be a baby. A real heir. Everything would change. Veronica stared at the ceiling, a strange, dark feeling growing inside her, jealousy. She tried to ignore it, but it clung to her like a shadow. If Evelyn had a child, Veronica would no longer be needed. And that terrified her more than anything. Fear makes people do terrible things. Veronica couldn't sleep. Night after night, she lay awake thinking about the baby. Evelyn's baby. The baby that would take everything from her. She reminded herself that Evelyn was her twin. How could she even consider hurting her? But then she remembered all the ways she depended on Evelyn. The shopping trips. The school fees. The comfortable life. The house. The security. Everything. All of it existed because Evelyn had no one else. But now, there would be a baby. Veronica started pacing. She told herself she was overthinking, being dramatic. Evelyn would never send her away. But deep down she knew the truth. Blood was strong. But a mother's love was stronger. She had to do something. Not to hurt Evelyn, she told herself. Just to protect her own future. The idea came slowly, like poison dripping into her thoughts. She had a friend at the market, a woman who sold herbs and other things. Dangerous things. Things that ended pregnancies quietly. Veronica convinced herself she was just going to ask questions. Nothing more. But 2 days later, she returned from the market with a small bottle hidden inside her bag. The woman had warned her. Just a few drops in hot liquid. Nature will take its course. At Evelyn's age, people would assume it was a miscarriage. That morning, Veronica woke early. Her hands trembled as she prepared Evelyn's usual tea. She stared at the small bottle for a long time. This was evil. She knew it was evil. But she uncapped it anyway. Just as she was about to pour it into the tea, footsteps approached. She quickly hid the bottle and stirred the tea like nothing happened. Evelyn walked in, dressed for work. Good morning, Veronica. Morning. Veronica's voice sounded strange and forced. I made your tea. Thank you, Evelyn said, reaching for the cup. Veronica's heart nearly stopped. But Evelyn paused. Actually, I'll drink tea at the office. I'm late. She grabbed her bag and left. The poison tea sat untouched on the counter. Veronica stared at the cup for a long time before pouring it down the sink. Then she went to her room, shaking uncontrollably. That was too close. The fear wouldn't stop whispering. You're going to lose everything. Do something. Do it now. And then she thought of Samuel. Samuel, the mechanic who had run away the moment he heard Evelyn was pregnant. Samuel, who clearly didn't want the baby either. Samuel, who might be desperate enough to help her. She called him. Samuel was shocked to hear her voice after all the insults. Samuel, I need to talk to you, Veronica said. There's a business opportunity, big money. Samuel was suspicious. But 20 million naira was 20 million naira. He agreed to meet her at a fancy restaurant far from Evelyn's house. They sat down, Veronica ordering expensive meals she didn't touch. Samuel sat awkwardly in his mechanic clothes among the rich crowd. So, Samuel asked, "What's this contract?" Veronica leaned in. "First, tell me something. Are you happy that Evelyn is pregnant?" Samuel stiffened. "That's none of your business." "It's a simple question," she said. "Are you happy?" He looked away. "No, I'm not. My marriage is broken because of this. My wife will never forgive me." "What if the pregnancy could go away?" Veronica asked carefully. "What if things could go back to how they were?" Samuel's head snapped toward her. "What are you talking about?" Veronica pulled out the small bottle. "Just a little in her tea. She won't know. People will assume it was natural. At her age it happens." "You want me to kill your sister's baby?" Samuel's voice rose. "Are you mad?" "Lower your voice," Veronica hissed. "I'm trying to protect her. She's 65, Samuel. Pregnancy is dangerous. What if she dies?" "You mean you're scared of losing her money?" Samuel said. Veronica's face reddened with shame and anger. 20 million naira, she said quickly. "I'll give you 20 million. You can take your wife and daughter and start over. Somewhere far from here. Build a new life. Just one dose. That's all." Samuel stared at the bottle like it was poison. Part of him, tired, scared, desperate, was tempted. But then he remembered Evelyn crying on the phone, holding on to hope like a miracle. "Give me the bottle," Samuel said. Veronica smiled and slid it toward him, along with a bag of money. "I knew you'd understand." But Samuel didn't understand in the way she wanted. That night, he went home to Ruth. Things had been rough since the family meeting, but he sat her down and confessed everything. The affair, the pregnancy, Veronica's plan. "We need to leave Lagos," Samuel said. "Tonight. Pack what you can. We're going to Ibadan." "With whose money?" Ruth asked bitterly. Samuel showed her the 20 million. "I took Veronica's money. But I'm not doing what she asked. I already called Evelyn. I told her everything." For the first time in months, Ruth looked at Samuel with something like respect, or maybe relief. "You're a fool," Ruth said. But she smiled. "But you're my fool." They packed, carried a sleeping Dara, and disappeared before sunrise. Evelyn listened to Samuel's call with tears streaming down her face. He apologized over and over, saying he couldn't stay, that his family needed him. She understood. But what hurt the most was realizing her own twin sister had tried to kill her child. Evelyn didn't confront Veronica immediately. She was too smart. She acted like Samuel had simply stolen the money and run. Veronica ranted for days. "That useless boy. I knew he was a thief." 20 million naira? Evelyn asked, pretending to be shocked. "For what?" It was a business deal. Forget it." Evelyn watched her sister closely, seeing the truth beneath the familiar face. The greed, the fear, the jealousy. One morning, Veronica prepared tea again. Evelyn saw her in the kitchen reach into her pocket. "Is that for me?" Evelyn asked. Veronica jumped. "Yes. Your tea." "How thoughtful." Evelyn picked up the cup, sniffed it. "You know what? Taste it first," she said calmly. "Taste what?" "Why? To make sure it's sweet enough." "No." Evelyn's voice changed, cold, sharp. "Drink it, Veronica. Show me nothing is wrong." "I will not. You're acting crazy." "Am I?" Evelyn set the cup down gently. "Or am I acting like a woman who just found out her own sister tried to poison her baby?" The kitchen went dead silent. Veronica's mouth opened and closed. Then she tried to lie. I don't know what you're talking about." "Samuel told me everything," Evelyn said quietly. "The bottle, the money, the plan." Veronica broke. "You don't understand," she cried. "I was scared. I didn't know what else to do. You were scared of losing my money. It's not just that. We're family. What happens to me and my boys if you have a child? Where will we go?" "That's not my problem anymore," Evelyn said, her voice like ice. "Pack your things. You and Topchakwu and Kamsi. You're leaving my house tonight. Evelyn, please. I'm your sister, your twin. We came into this world together, Evelyn said. And you tried to take my child out of this world. Get out, Veronica, before I call the police. Veronica collapsed to the floor, crying and begging. But Evelyn walked away. That night, Evelyn stood by her bedroom window and watched as Veronica and her sons carried their belongings into a taxi. Topchakwu and Kamsi looked scared. Veronica looked broken. Part of Evelyn wanted to tell them to stay, to forgive, to forget. But she placed a hand on her stomach and remembered what was at stake. Some betrayals cut too deep. That night, Evelyn slept in her huge house alone for the first time in years. No Veronica, no nephews, no Nois, just her and her unborn child. She slept better than she had in months. The next morning, she looked at herself in the mirror, 65 years old, pregnant, alone, betrayed by family, but still standing. And she smiled, because for the first time in her entire life, she felt free. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for the next video to find out what happens next in Evelyn's journey. Will she raise her child alone? Will Samuel ever return? And what will Veronica do now that she has lost everything? Which city are you listening from? Tell me in the comments. Thank you for your sweet support. Can't wait to read your thoughts. On the screen, you'll see 2 new life stories I highly recommend. There's so much more on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next life story. With love and respect.